So today we're going to be talking about some postpartum essentials and just my general experience with the postpartum time, which I guess I'm still technically in. First things is, so like at the hospital and initially when you get home, I think it's really good to have like a nice button down shirt. So I have this nice little soft short sleeve, came from a pajama set from Kohl's, super soft, really good to wear over like a tank with a nursing bra or a nursing tank or a nursing gown, just to have like a little extra layer. I had a lot of swelling afterwards. It's common to have swelling in general, but I had gestational hypertension, so there was like already some swelling going on, and then all the IV fluids I was on at the hospital, so I felt like I had elephant legs. So wearing compression socks definitely helped. I would definitely recommend wearing them when you plan to be walking. It is good to walk around a little bit if you can. I know it's uncomfortable, but like you get used to it, and it just does really help with the swelling. Like, don't overdo yourself by any means. Also, don't wear these if you're just standing or if you're gonna be sitting, because the blood's still kind of gonna pool. Everything's just gonna go down to your feet anyways. But walking does help. It helps with the circulation. So as we know, when you go to the hospital, they're gonna give you basically everything you need, but I don't necessarily like everything that they gave me. I used it because it was there, but like the mesh underwear, didn't really like theirs. Not a sponsor or anything for any of these things, but I really like the Frida Mom underwear. It was kind of like boy short type style, so it was like cute. But that being said, I also recommend getting like maxi pads that don't, like the big maxi pads that don't have wings with those, because it is a boy short, so it's like wide, like in like by your inner thigh, so like the wings don't work on that. So that's good. And then like if you're wearing any other kind of mesh underwear or regular underwear, because eventually I think 3 weeks maybe after, I finally switched to regular underwear again, and I wore a little bit lighter ones that did have wings. But this whole thing you're doing, I'm telling you now, it's a lot of stuff. So at the hospital, they give you, now I don't know if it's the same at every place, but they gave you Dermoplast. I did have my wife go and get seconds of this. Definitely try to get a couple of these. I think this was my 3rd can that I used. I kind of probably, like, I was very generous with it. They give you these Tux pads. They aren't like the actual Tux brand. They're like witch hazel pads. And they tell you to like lay them on your pad and like line them up. Here's where that does not work very well, is that you put them, let me see if this one is open so I can like show. I save these because technically you could like use them as like a toner or something, but they come in these little pads, and like they say to like line them up and put them on your pad. So I'd had like I think 1, 2, 3, yeah, probably like 3 at a time. Problem with that is when you're walking around and you're doing stuff, they go and it just gets up there, and if you have stitches or anything, it can kind of, I don't want to say it stings, but it's uncomfortable, especially when you're trying to take it out. So what's really good is the Frida Mom. I really want to see if this one will focus because this is important. Perineal healing foam. Hopefully you can read that. This is my favorite, and this was my 2nd bottle of this. She also went and got me some of this. She's like, oh, thank you. My favorite is this, yeah. Cooling pain relief from vag to tush. Perfect stuff. Those are the main things that I would recommend. I would also recommend listening to how you feel. So this is not a product thing, this is just like advice. Listen to how you're feeling. Don't shame yourself for how you feel. Don't worry that you're not, like, if you feel like you're not healing fast enough. I was definitely like antsy and I mean just total uncomfortable for myself. but also mental health wise, like I did have a fairly rough time the first week or so, probably going in maybe like, honestly probably maybe 2 or 3 weeks, but the first week was like definitely rough. I cried at the drop of a hat. I was so emotional about everything, but just like talk to your partner, talk to a friend, talk to whoever about how you're feeling, because you shouldn't be ashamed of how you feel. Like I felt like, like I had a 37-week induction, which was 2 weeks earlier than I had initially planned, because I planned on a 39-week induction just because I wanted to. But you're kind of like, oh, my life is totally different now. It's not going to be the same ever again. And like, it's okay to feel that afterwards, because like, that your life's going to change and you're ready for it and you're happy about it. And I was still happy about it, but it's just like a big, like, it's just the realization, and it could be overwhelming. And then finally I talked to Rachel about it. She's like, oh my gosh, me too. So like, definitely talk about it. Don't hold it in. And if you feel like you need to see a psychiatrist and get on like some anxiety meds, like after the first 2 weeks, I messaged my doctor and was like, hey, like, can I get back on my meds since I'm not breastfeeding? And they started it up for me, and that was like probably the best decision I could have made. The other thing too, not mental health related, but I just thought about it, is if you don't want to breastfeed, like obviously your boobs are still gonna do what they think they're needing to do to make milk. If you don't want that to happen, like I definitely did pump a little bit at a time just for some relief, and then finally I got really tight sports bras and then just squeezed them in. I did leak for a while, so like have some little pads like in there. And then they say not to get hot water on them like while you're showering, because it'll stimulate milk production. But it's like, it's kind of hard to take a comfortable shower and not get the front of yourself wet. So just go with it. I promise it'll stop eventually. Like mine, it took a while, but it did it. I had one that really wanted to work and one that was like, okay, fine. But yeah, so that's it basically for like essentials and stuff. If you're pregnant right now and you're stressed about the postpartum like period, it's gonna be okay. Everything heals. Your brain heals. Your vagina heals. And if you have a C-section, that'll heal too. So I guess either, I don't know if it'll be in the next one that I do, but I want to talk about like some newborn essentials. And I also want to make one about me starting like my weight loss journey. That's like a whole other story to talk about, but we'll get there. All right, and I'll see you next time.